What's going on, guys? Sharpshot here. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. So for today's video, we're going to be going over the top 3 best survivor builds to rank up super quick in DBD. So to quickly explain how this video is going to work, I'm going to be going over 3 builds from worst to best, the third being the worst of the 3 and the first being the best. But don't worry if you like the third over the first, for example, because they're all super good builds and you'll do super good in all of your games with them. And for each build, I'm going to be going over each perk and why I chose that perk for that build. And at the end of that build, I'm going to explain how all 4 perks go together super well and make it the best possible build. And these aren't going to be like super unique and out there builds. These are just going to be sticking to the really good perks, the sort of meta perks that are really reliable and that are really strong against every killer and that are good with every playstyle in the game. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So coming in at number 3, we have what I call the 15% vault build. So the first perk that's going to be going on this build is Resilience. Resilience makes it so that when you're injured, you basically do everything way faster than you normally would. And at tier 3, you do everything 9% quicker. And that includes repairing, healing, unhooking, vaulting, and a bunch of other stuff. So it's super good if you escape a chase injured and you just chill and go off and do a gen alone, and you'll end up doing that gen 9% faster on your own. The second perk on this build is Spine Chill. Spine Chill is an information perk that has a really nice twist to it. The information part of it is that when the killer is looking at you within 36 meters, the little perk icon glows up so you know that the killer is looking in your direction. And if it's consistently on, that means the killer is probably coming towards you. So this is really good against stealth killers and honestly any killer in general. But the really good part of this build is that when Spine Chill is active, you get up to at tier 3 a 6% increase in a bunch of things, exactly like resilience, in repairing, healing, sabotaging, vaulting, and all that sort of stuff. So it's also really good in a chase when the killer is always directly looking at you, so you'll have that 6% bonus at all times. The third perk on this build is Sprint Burst. You need an exhaustion perk on pretty much every single build you would run, and you either go with Sprint Burst or Dead Hard, but I feel like Sprint Burst suits this build a little better. If you don't know what Sprint Burst is, you can sprint at 150% of your base speed for 3 seconds right when you start running when you're not exhausted. This perk is obviously super strong to get a huge head start on a chase or to move quickly around the map from gen to gen, for example. Finally, the last perk on this build is going to be Iron Will. Iron Will is pretty simple. If you run this at tier 3, basically when you're injured, your grunts of pain are completely suppressed 100%. And this is super good, obviously, because if you're in a chase, you quickly hide. The killer won't be able to hear you when you're injured. So personally, I love running Ace, and Ace is actually the quietest killer in the game. So if you do run Ace, you actually don't really need Iron Will. So you can also use Prove Thyself, which will help doing co-op gens way quicker, which is also a really good option. All right, so this build is called the 15% build because when you're injured and you're in a chase, you actually get a 15% vault speed bonus. With resilience, you get 9% when you're injured, and then adding on the 6% of Spine Chill when you're in a chase, it makes it super good when you're in chases because you can just vault way faster than you normally would. Combined with Sprint Burst, you'll get a huge head start. So basically, you can loop for days with this build, and Iron Will make it so that if you do manage to escape and you are injured, you won't be hurt. It's also a really good stealth build because of Spine Chill. So say you do get injured and you stay injured with resilience and you manage to escape, you can just go off on your own and quickly run to a gen with Sprint Burst and do your gen 9% faster. So it's overall a really good stealth build and a looping build. So you can play either super stealthy or you can just get into the action a ton and get chased all game and you'll have no problem looping. So the second build on this list is called the Bill and Meg build, and the first perk that's going to be going on this is Adrenaline. Adrenaline seems kind of confusing, but it's a super powerful perk that when the exit gates get opened, you instantly heal 1 health state and you sprint for 150% of your running speed for 5 seconds. And if you're playing against Freddy, you even wake up from the dream world when the exit gates sound. So when the exit gates get sound, you basically get an insta heal and you get a super long sprint burst. If you're in a chase and you're injured, you instantly get healed and you get super far away. It's a get out of jail free card, honestly. The second perk on this build is again Sprint Burst. The third perk on this list is Borrowed Time. I would say this is honestly a must-have in the higher ranks. So pretty much Borrowed Time makes it that if you unhook a survivor within the killer's terror radius, so if you're unhooking a survivor and you hear the heartbeat, the unhooked survivor gets the endurance status effect, and if they get hit within 15 seconds at tier 3, they basically get an extra life, and especially if the killer is camping the hook, it's a really good perk to have. Finally, the last perk on this build is another of Bill's perks, and it's Unbreakable. Unbreakable makes it so that you can recover from the dying state once per trial, and your recovery speed is also 35% faster at tier 3. So if you're in the dying state, you can recover really quickly and get back up if the killer is just slugging. So if you haven't realized by now, this build is called the Bill and Meg build because these are all perks from Meg and Bill. This is really good if you're starting out. This build is completely free for everyone, and all you have to do is grind your blood points for 2 survivors and you have one of the best builds in the game, which allows you to be super altruistic with Borrowed Time, and you can get into the action with Sprint Burst and Adrenaline and escape chases super easily, and you can even recover from the dying state once per trial, which can honestly be a huge game changer. So now on to what I call the meta build, and this is actually my main build that I use in my solo queues, and I personally think this is one of the, if not the best build in the game, and there's a ton of options you can do with it, and I'm going to explain all of them right now. So the first perk you want to run on this build is Borrowed Time. As I explained before, this is a must-have in the higher ranks. Unhooking people without Borrowed Time is honestly just horrible because they'll just get insta-down. The second perk you want to run on this is an exhaustion perk, and my personal favorite is Dead Hard, but you can also run Sprint Burst if you like that better. When you're injured and not exhausted, when you press the activate ability, you quickly dash forward, dodging any damage, and this is super good really late in a chase when the killer is about to down you, and you just quickly dash forward, drop a pallet on them or something. It just makes it so you can extend the chase so much longer. The third perk you want to run on this build is Prove Thyself. Whenever you're repairing a gen with someone, you get a 15% repair speed bonus for each survivor doing that gen, up to a maximum of 45%. So if you have all the survivors on a gen, you can do a gen 45% faster. Basically almost cuts the time in half. Just to put the cherry on top, you also get 100% bonus blood points for doing co-op actions at tier 3. So not only do you get gens done super fast, you also get a ton of blood points for doing so. Finally, the last perk, you can kind of pick your own perk that you really like, but in my opinion, I think you guys should pick Inner Strength. Inner Strength is an extremely good healing perk. When you cleanse a totem, Inner Strength activates, and if you're injured, when you go inside of a locker for 8 seconds, you heal 1 health state, so you go from injured to healthy in 8 seconds if you had cleansed the totem beforehand. So it's a really good perk to have to just quickly heal up and move on with whatever you were doing. If you don't have Nancy unlocked, I would recommend using Adrenaline because you still get 1 health state heal at the end of the game, which is really useful. But if you're not a fan of Adrenaline, you can also run Unbreakable to be able to recover from the dying state once per trial, or you can run Iron Will if you want to be completely silent when you're injured. So these 4 perks in Borrowed Time, Dead Hard, Prove Thyself, and Inner Strength are super good. They're all meta perks, and these 4 perks each cover one of the 4 categories in Dead by Daylight. Altruism is covered by Borrowed Time, which not only lets you unhook survivors, but it also allows you to get easy, safe unhooks, so you get even more altruism. Boldness is covered by Dead Hard, which allows you to be unpredictable and gives you the ability to escape a ton of chases. The objectives category is covered by Prove Thyself, which allows you to do gens so much faster, and you also get bonus blood points for doing that. And finally, the survival category is covered by Inner Strength, which allows you to quickly heal up whenever you're injured. So yeah guys, that's been the video. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite perk build of the 3 were, what you liked about them, what you disliked about them, and also let me know what your guys' favorite build is overall in Dead by Daylight. I'd love to hear that, and maybe I'll make a part 2 showcasing your guys' best perk builds. So yeah guys, that's been the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. This has been Sharpshot, and I will see you guys in the next video.